Hello and welcome back to the USF 2000, the final ever race of the final ever season. 3 seasons of USF racing and it comes down to this. Championships on the line. We're here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name's Mark, joining me in the commentary booth is Steve. Steve, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Mark. It's brilliant to be here at Charlotte. Can I just say as well, it's been a pleasure to race with a lot of these drivers. I'm looking forward to the new series, new seasons all ongoing and coming our way. But also, it's sad to see the Club 1500 brand being retired after this race. And it'll be sad to see it go, but looking forward to what's coming next.
Indeed. So, as I mentioned, this is a title decider. We've got Alex Murphy for the Anti-Wizard Society trying to take the title from Ture Molarin. Ture has won 2 championships, the only 2 championships. He is the only champion that we've seen so far in the USF Championship. And there we go. After a fairly lackluster start to the season, let's be honest, for our reigning double world champion, Ture Molarin, Alex Murphy looked like he had the championship all sewn up, and then Ture's just had an absolutely stellar last few rounds and has just propelled himself back into the championship fight.
Yeah, it's a huge second half to the championship, and we did, like you say, we were worried that he wasn't going to be anywhere near Alex, and Alex was going to run away with it. And he's had an absolutely storming comeback in the second half of the season, so it'll be interesting to see how he copes with Alex in this race. See if he can pull it off. Obviously, we're looking at championship standings there, and it's very, very close to the top. But he needs to pull it out of the bag once again.
Indeed. So we will see. We've got 15-minute races. I think 2 of them coming right up. 13 laps, I think it was. So yeah, we'll see. This Charlotte Motor Speedway's got quite a lot of opportunities for drafts, so yeah, we'll see if there are any tactics at play. Yeah,
it's a Roval, so obviously there's some tricky parts in there as well as the long ovals, corners and what have you to drag on. So some tricky little chicanes in there, with sausage curbs in there. So obviously you want to avoid the sausage because you get bounced around a little bit.
Meanwhile, in the Club 1500 Championship standings, we saw just there Philip Miles has a slim lead over a trio of camels.
Very much.
As we see in the team's standings, the Anti-Wizard Society have a fairly commanding lead over this Black Sapphire.
Yeah, I think that's unassailable.
It's
Exactly.
actually 1 point ahead of Minardi. It is. But the Drivers' Championship is still all to play for. In fact, both Drivers' Championships still to play for. And as we get through the race, we will talk through the different permutations.
Yeah, we'll try and keep you updated as much as we possibly can. It's going to be interesting as it's very close, and we can see the pole sitters there in general population. We've got Alex Murphy taking pole for there with 1:17.457. And for Club 1500, Philip Miles doing what he needs to do there by taking pole for Club 1500. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. I see the
Alex
cars,
Murphy there.
Yeah, the liveries for the cars coming through for the final time for USF. Some great drivers, some great cars, and looking forward to this last race.
Yeah, Alex Murphy there with a crucial pole position ahead of Ture Molarin. And yeah, I think he'll think of that as having almost one hand on the trophy as he does everything that he needs to. We've got confirmation there of João Tomé with a pit lane start. Yeah, so that'll be good news for Philip Miles. That'll promote him up a position.
That's it, storming lap there for Philip.
Yeah, his Club 1500 Championship rival, Rich Meese, is down there in 12th. Now, although they're first and second in Club 1500, crucially they've got quite a few top splitters in between them, and I'm sure that Philip Miles will not be wanting to let anyone pass. He'll want to keep as many cars between him and his championship rival as possible.
Definitely. Definitely. It'd be for Steve Pepper as well there to help out his Cool Camel stablemate and see if he can get up there and challenge Philip for this position as well.
It's worth pointing out that Steve does have an outside chance at the title, and as I say that, Alex Murphy has bolted already. Safety cars in the pits, green flag is out. We are racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and immediately our two title protagonists are nose to tail, but Alex Murphy spins into the first corner. Absolute disaster for his championship, and he's got a meatball flag. He'll be towing to the pits.
Absolute
and in the first corner, oh gosh, in the almost the first corners we see their penalty, not penalty, repairs needed there for Steve Pepper. As we see James Pepper sneaking past Rich Meesters.
Yeah, Ben Chalcroft was involved in all that as well, so Ben looked as though he got a repair, a meatball as well, so that's unfortunate for Ben.
So Philip Miles must have been involved in all of that, because he's dropped down to third in Club 1500. Only 4 entrants in Club 1500, which means that if my maths is correct, as we see, Mark Brown, that is into the back of Rich Meesters.
Rich now with no real wing.
No, these championship protagonists are dropping like flies. So, in the Club 1500 Championship, if my maths is correct, with only 4 entrants, all Philip Miles has to do is outscore Rich Meesters to take the championship here in this first race. And that's what it looks like is going to happen at the moment as Rich Meesters heads to the pit lane. So it's very much advantage Miles after the first lap.
Yeah, and he's going to be a long way.
See here, replay of what happened. You know what, I think Alex Murphy just dropped it on his own. And, oh yeah, collected by Chalcroft. The James Pepper trying the alternative rallycross route at Charlotte. He's forgotten that he is in fact not in a VW Beetle and is in a USF. And that looks like it might be handing Philip Miles the lead. Maybe not quite. James Pepper's rejoined just ahead.
Yeah, still 7/10 in front.
Yeah. So meanwhile, up at the front, we've got Ture Molarin in first, from Ettridge, from Kelly, from Parker, and Innes in 5th. See, there is Rich Meesters back out on track. Pit crew have quickly fixed his rear wing. Innes now tucked up behind Parker. As we see Stephen Maxwell in 8th. Oh, what's happened to Pepper? So that's Steve Pepper dropped it. I think probably got on the brakes too quickly to try and avoid the mess in front of him.
Yeah, it looks as though he had his eye pulled at the time and he just locked up, stuck him in the wall, unfortunately.
Very easily done.
Yeah, extremely.
Very easily done.
James Pepper's just taken a meatball as well for some reason, so I hope we get a replay of
Chris
that
Forrester
as well.
and Kenneth Olive.
So once again,
Not sure what happened there. Oh,
here we go.
So this is lap 1 with Keith Schooling. Not sure if that was a nudge by Zhao Tome or whether Schooling just lost it on his own.
No, I think that looked like a nudge. The car seemed to jerk forward as though it had been hit in the back.
See, there's Maxwell getting past Kuzmarek. That is for 6th place, and Maxwell will now go and hunt down Innes. Innes, meanwhile, has latched onto the back of Parker. Is in the slipstream. Slipstream is very powerful here. As Maxwell will now be finding out with his mirrors full of Kuzmarek. But Winslade with a nice little move on Kuzmarek to the inside into turn 1. He gets that position, still with that wonderful tribute livery to Eric Pusey. Eric, of course, a long-time friend of the LOA, raced with us for several years, but unfortunately having issues with his shoulder and having to stop racing. The repairs needed for Tome. This is what happened with Pepper. Oh, Pepper.
Ooh,
That's unfortunate for Pepper. Locked the brakes, hit the curb, and he was just a passenger from there.
Yeah,
Well, I say he was a passenger, he was a pilot, because that car was airborne.
Yeah, once that happens, there's absolutely nothing you can do, unfortunately. And I think Chris was a bit of an innocent victim of that.
So here's what happened.
That would explain
Olive,
why.
I think, just didn't.
Yeah, that would explain why
So
Alex Murphy's still sat in the pits.
Yeah, Childcraft and Schooling came together.
I think Alex was actually leaving the pits when that happened.
Molarin's got a meatball. So I saw first him and then Ettridge just nudge that wall. But it looks like Molarin nudged it a little bit too hard. But he will have to pit for repairs.
Yeah, obviously he hasn't used his fast repair that the league cars get. So, you know, with the league we do get a fast repair, and it's to be used sparingly. Obviously, if you get a meatball. Obviously, Alex would have had 2 of those, so he will be in the pits awaiting repairs as you would normally do.
Murphy is out of this then. Out of this race at least. In the championship, Molarin, if I quickly do the maths, needs 4th place in order to take this championship. There's a replay of Tome getting it all wrong and into the wall. So we'll have to see when Molarin is into the pits now. So we'll have to see how far back does this drop him down, and can he recover to that crucial 4th place he needs to win the championship. Of course, that is to win the championship in this first race. Either way, it's still very much advantage Molarin in the second race, and that's a replay of what happened to Childcraft and Schooling. Ennis now up to 4th. Starting to drop back slightly from Parker, just a couple of tenths. Then Molarin's out of the pits. He's fighting with Winslade for 6th and 7th. Winslade's round.
Was that a touch?
I'm not sure if it was a touch or whether it was Winslade getting a bit spooked by having a Molarin on his outside. I mean, I think they did bang wheels a little bit, but whether that caused the spin or whether it was a sort of a reactionary move,
I'll be one for the stewards.
Not too sure. Yes, indeed. So, Molarin now. He is 4 seconds behind Maxwell and 6.5 seconds behind Innes. Sorry, no, 4 seconds behind Maxwell. Maxwell is 6 seconds behind Innes, so Molarin is 10 seconds off of that 4th place he needs for the championship. You see, in Club 1500, Meesters is about 14-15 seconds behind Miles. Meesters needs to outscore Miles if he is to have a shot at the title. So these two that we're seeing on screen now, Kenneth Olive and Pavel Kuzmarek. Olive is a lap down after drama earlier on in the race, where he came together with Alex Murphy. There's the Cool Camel liveried Innes in 4th. He is starting to drop back from Parker now. In fact, now he's out of the tow. You can see that gap is increasing quite a bit. Just doesn't quite have the same raw pace as Parker does. Of course, Parker is a very quick guy.
Yeah, so very quick
As is
guys.
this man right here, Gavin Kelly.
Definitely, yeah. There's some very strong guys there, certainly for Ture Molarin to try and close down and pass. So it'd be interesting to see if he's got the pace to do that.
So Molarin is closing on Maxwell, and Maxwell is closing on Innes. But with just 6 laps to go, Molarin then with a fastest lap of the race of 1:17.6.
He's really got the bit between his teeth now as Molarin, so And once he can see these cars in front of him, he'll have the extra motivation to go and reel them in.
There's Innes going very sideways, getting past schooling. That cool camel is most definitely a rather scared camel after that. Kelly, meanwhile, with bit in sort of no man's land at the moment. He's got 5 seconds to Ettridge ahead and nearly 4 seconds back to Parker. And oh, that's an anti-Wizards car in the wall. That's Maxwell.
And that gives 5th place
the
to
sole
Molarin.
remaining. It does indeed. It's the sole remaining anti-Wizards car.
Yeah, I think Alex
so
would have been.
Molarin up to 5th.
My apologies, Mark. I was just going to say that Alex would have been hoping that Stephen Maxwell could have at least kept himself, between that 4th place and Ture Molarin. So that's gone out the window now.
Right, yeah. Alex Murphy is back on track, but 4 laps down. So Molarin 5 laps and 7 seconds to Innes ahead.
I'll keep an eye on these lap times.
Worth pointing out that even if Molarin doesn't catch Innes in this race, he still very much has the upper hand going into the 2nd reverse grid race. I think all it needs is a 12th place, I think. He finishes 5th in this race, and that's regardless of where Murphy finishes, even if Murphy were to win the race. So it's very much advantage Molarin at the moment.
It looks like Philip Miles on for the win for Club 1500 there, if he keeps it nice and square on the track.
Yeah. Both the win and the championship, as we see Kuzmarek going very slowly. Not sure if he's had a trip to the walls.
Not particularly bent.
I'm not sure if that was just a mistake and needing a bit of time to get back up to speed.
Possibly.
So, oh, something's happened up the front. Innes has got past Parker. So that must have been a mistake then for Parker, because Innes was a good couple of seconds back.
He was, yeah. Unless he's gone straight on one of the chicanes or something like that.
We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, Innes takes the inside line. Parker tries to go around the outside, but as soon as he pulled out of that slipstream, it was almost like hitting a brick wall. He's lost all momentum. So we come down to 3 laps to go then. Innes looking at potentially a 2nd podium in 2-3 races. He's got the win at Long Beach.
He did, yeah. Yeah. He's had some really good races in the latter end of the season.
But it's just his luck that he starts to find the results coming just as we decide to move away from the USF. As we see confirmation that Winslade has a meatball flag, we'll see him come into the pits in the next couple of laps. We watch this battle raining on. Oh, Innes has lost it! Quick spin turn, and there goes Molarin, crucially, for that 4th place.
4th place, yeah.
That Molarin needs for the championship. So with 2 to go, Molarin now with one hand firmly on the trophy.
Yeah, he just has to keep it nice and steady. Yeah, 2 laps.
Yeah, Innes is 2 seconds back after that little half spin. We see what happened to Maxwell. Oh, not too disastrous. He got it all wrong and bumped over the sausage curbs, but he actually kept that in shape remarkably well. It's so easy to hit those sausage curbs wrong and then just get launched into the wall.
It is. We've already seen that once anyway, so it's easily done.
In fact, I'm fairly sure we've seen Maxwell himself do that once already.
Quite probably.
So Maxwell now sucked up behind Kuzmarek. They come back onto this long banked section. We see the checkered flag waving. The man that we've barely spoken about all race, the race winner, Oliver Ettridge.
Yeah, congratulations to Oliver Ettridge there for the club for the class win, an overall win.
Do you see in the little picture-in-picture, Maxwell ahead of Kuzmarek, and with one corner complex to go, just this chicane to go. As we see them there in the background, who will pop out first? It is Maxwell takes the checkered flag first. Takes that 6th place.
Yeah, Philip Miles coming home there in first place for clubbers, taking the championship.
So yes, and crucially, he gets the reverse grid pole position. So Oliver Ettridge with the race win, Ture Molarin with the championship win, Philip Miles with both the Club 1500 race win, Club 1500 championship, and reverse grid pole position.
Yeah, it's congratulations to all the winners there. It's a bit of a disappointment that it's not going to go to the second heat. However, the drivers have done really, really well. It's been close up until that point, and unfortunately, it's decided the championships. So congratulations there. As we see there, confirmation for the results of Club 1500. Philip Miles taking a win with Rich Meisters second, Steve Pepper in third, and James Pepper bringing up there in 4th place with 30 points.
Yeah, so Philip Miles now has a 24-point lead over Rich Meisters going into the final race, which normally, I think this is where Rich Meisters must be a little bit frustrated. With 50 points for a race win, you must be thinking, well, if Philip Miles is only 24 points away, why are we celebrating the championship? With only 4 entrants in the Club 1500, the worst that Philip Miles can do is get 30 points for 4th place.
And that would give a swing of just 20 points, so even with the fastest lap, it's still not enough for Rich to get the championship, unfortunately, so it's done and dusted.
So as we see confirmation of the starting grid for race 2, we will see now one more race with, well, I was going to say nothing to play for. All the championships are decided, but there's certainly pride on the line.
Of course, yeah. I mean, these drivers are still racing for minor positions, so they're still obviously second and third on the championship podiums. So we'll see what happens now.
And crucially, we'll get to see who wins the last ever USF race. Well, not the last ever, but the last USF race for the foreseeable future, until we decide to come back and reuse it. So safety cars in the pits. Philip Miles has gone already, much like Alex Murphy did in the first round. Green flag flies. We are racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Philip Miles will be hoping to not replicate what Alex Murphy did at the start of the last race. We'll see Brown and Kelly fighting into turn 1. Kelly has the inside line, which becomes the outside line for the next corner. Kelly late on the brakes and takes that position.
Yeah, great
Meanwhile,
pass.
it looks like everyone's made it safely through the first couple of corners so far. Alex Murphy really getting his elbows out, forcing Tome wide. And it takes that position. Pepper looking to try and capitalise as well and force Ture wide as well, but that's not going to work. There's some smoke there. Has someone hit the wall? Yes, it's Winslade. We see him tumbling down the order. That's a great shame for him. And Olive also needing repairs. Maxwell up to second with that move. Innes has missed his braking spot and has straight lined the chicane. He's going to have to give all of those places back. We're looking very squirrely there. So Innes feathered out the throttle a little bit and has rejoined in 5th place. We see Meesters there forcing his way past Chris Forrester.
Yeah, I think that was hard but fair was that. Obviously had the inside line for there, and Chris was forced to take evasive action. I don't think there was any malice in it, and it was just hard racing.
This is Murphy around the outside of Sharpcraft, and he's ahead exiting that corner. Oh, Molarin there with a little touch on that wall. He did exactly the same in the first round, and it gave him a meatball. So we see Oliver Ettridge closing in on Innes. Ettridge goes to the inside. The Ture and Pepper side by side. Pepper around the outside, straight lines to chicane.
Nowhere for Steve Pepper to go there. He had a slight lock up which compromised his line into the chicane, and he was forced to take excuse me, evasive action.
Molarin down the inside, he's got the position on Kuzmarek. As we see, that's Winslade a lap down, just getting out of the way, not fighting these guys. True gentleman move, that. Oh, we've got Ture on the inside of Meesters. Meesters remains ahead for the time being. Meesters goes a little bit wide, and that allows Ture through. And Alex Murphy is right behind and looking to capitalise on any loss of momentum. And Murphy has pulled out to the outside. We saw with Parker against Innes in the first round, that outside line, it's so hard to complete the move there, because as soon as you lose the slipstream, it's like you hit a brick wall, and as we see, Meesters keeps that position. While Molarin now right on the back of Philip Miles. Philip Miles looked like he was so close to touching the wall there, and Molarin is through into the first corner. Ettridge, meanwhile, still unable to find a way past Innes. They go to very wide in the background. So here's what happened to Winslade. That's a hard hit. And collected Olive, and that was one of the cool camels, ran over Winslade's nose. Oh, that's a meatball for Innes. What's happened?
And James Pepper.
A meatball for Pepper as well.
There was a hit against the wall there for Rich Meesters as well. Luckily for me, Rich, it wasn't particularly heavy.
All the Peppers seemingly synchronised war bashing. All the Peppers? All the camels, sorry.
All the camels, I'm going to say. There's only 2 of them. Can't have too many Peppers in here.
Molarin now latched onto the back of Maxwell. Maxwell remains ahead for the moment. But you do get the feeling that Molarin wants to end this championship as he started it, with a win. Molarin has very much been the dominant force in this USF era.
Philip Miles rubber stamping his championship credentials as well there for Club 1500. It's just James Pepper's incident. Just go straight on. Lock up. Yeah.
Ture and Brown going wheel to wheel. Brown with the outside line. And that's Ture through. While Molarin now still trying to get ahead of Maxwell. He's a nose alongside into the chicane. And there's a touch, and Maxwell was having none of that. I don't think Molarin was really alongside enough for that to have worked. And that's put Miles back ahead of Molarin. Molarin will be wanting to get past Miles as quickly as possible before Maxwell scampers away. Meanwhile, Maxwell will be hoping that those two fight for as long as possible.
And obviously these drivers may not know that the championship's already been decided.
That's a very good point.
That's it, yeah. They're still fighting for positions because they want to maximise the points they're going to get.
Yep, there is no time between these races, no time to sit there get your calculator out and see what you are able to do. It's just one race finishes, the next one starts almost immediately.
Yeah, that's it.
So unless you've got a brain like an Excel spreadsheet and a photographic memory and a calculator built into your steering wheel.
What you need is an accountant.
Oh, I don't know about that. Those guys can be a bit dodgy. Childcraft, meanwhile, right on the back of Mark Brown. This is for 9th position. Innes has recovered and is down to 14th after his trip to the pit lane. Childcraft, meanwhile, all over the back of Brown, but just can't find a way through. Brown went a little bit wide through there, though. But, yeah, Childcraft got closer, but not quite close enough. Meanwhile, Molarin has managed to get past Philip Miles, and now it's the turn of Oliver Etcher to try and make a move. Miles goes defensive, no way through into the chicane. Oh, there is Childcraft. Once he got that inside line, he's made that look easy under braking into the chicane. Just goes to show, yeah, that outside line around the banked corners really not working well for these drivers.
No, it doesn't. I think it's because once the inside line's taken, the outside line's so difficult to try and cut back inside. It causes the drivers loads of problems.
Yeah. Tommy there with a little touch on the wall. No meatball flag though. No damage caused by that. Murphy hot in his wheel tracks. We've had a pass to the lead. Maxwell. Something's happened to Maxwell. He's dropping down the order.
There he is.
There is Maxwell. So the trip through the grass, that's handed the lead to Molarin. But Murphy back ahead of his teammate. And he looks to try and go ahead of Tomei, but again with that outside line, this is going to be difficult. He looks like he's got a lot of momentum though, and yeah, he's made that stick.
Well, it could
So
quite
well
easily.
Murphy.
That quite easily could have been so much different there with Jowett. Oh, that's Mark Innes off for a spin. Yeah, that could quite easily have turned into something different because Zhao had locked his front wheel and just managed to stop it before he hit the back of Alex Murphy's car.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse. So here is Winslade, a lap down from these guys around him, so not fighting for position. Still fighting for honour. So here's a replay of what happened to Maxwell. Just rear end got loose. That is a great shame. Not the way he wanted to end this race. Not that the race is over, of course. Still got 5 laps to go.
Yeah, trying his best to recover a bit, as much as he possibly can.
So Maxwell now in 8th after that earlier spin has hooked right up to the back of Ture Molarin. Battlecraft is just a couple of cents behind though, as we see. So now here's Maxwell going to the outside line and again manages to make the move stick against Ture off the outside line. Battlecraft looked like he was going into the wall for a minute there, but he's managed to save that.
Big lock up there from Ben Charlcraft.
So I wonder if maybe Tome's got damage or something like that, because we've seen a couple of times the drivers that previously struggled to make the outside line work. We've just seen it twice happen to Ture, so maybe he's carrying a bit of damage, got some sort of slightly lower straight line speed perhaps.
That's quite possible, yeah. He might have clipped the wall at some stage and he's carrying a bit of aero damage. Ben's Ben right on his tail again as well.
Yeah, and Mark Brown not too far behind. Charlcraft goes to the inside line and gets the position. Further up the front, Alex Murphy's caught up to the back of Kuzmarek. Just to see if he makes a move. Follows Kuzmarek through the final chicane. And Mark Brown just 0.6 of a second behind Ture. The more I watch, the more I'm beginning.
Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, Steve.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that the more I watch Ture, the more I think I'm sure he's got damage, because Ture is a very quick driver. So yeah, to see him struggle a little bit for pace is very unusual. There we go.
Yeah, penalty for
confirmation.
Yeah, not a penalty, it's repairs needed for Zhao. Excuse me, for Zhao, which would explain that if he's hit the wall slightly again, that would compound what he'd previously done and would make it so that he got a meatball.
Indeed. So here's Kelly closing in on the back of Philip Miles. Final chicane, no way through there. He will follow Miles through, try and get on the power earlier. A little squirrely there for Philip Miles, just that they come over the crest of that corner. Philip Miles using a little more of the track than Kelly. But Kelly uses all of the track on exit. And these two both using a lot of the track on exit. Kuzmarek there, 2 wheels on the grass. Really trying to open up that corner. Make it as wide as he possibly can. To try and scamper away from the man behind him, Alex Murphy. After a less than ideal first round, Murphy will be wanting a decent result in the second round. But he's running out of laps to do it with, because the timer has ticked down to 0.
Yeah, we should be getting white flag at the end of this lap. Lap. Oh dear.
Oh, Murphy, all out of shape.
Very sideways there.
In fact, we won't have the white flag, we'll have the checker flag instead.
Straight to
Ture
checker.
Molarin there.
What a race.
A commanding win.
Congratulations to Ture on another fantastic win there. And Club 1500 there, Philip Miles securing his place at the top of the Club 1500 Championship. As all the cars stream through.
Kelly there just snatching the final spot on the podium away from Philip Miles there. So confirmation of the results of the feature race.
So as we see, Ture Molarin with 50 points for the win, and Oliver Estridge in second. Gavin Kelly bring up the third place on the podium, followed by Philip Miles, Pavel Kuzmarek, Alex Murphy, and the rest there. We got to see Rich Meesters in 11th, followed by Steve Pepper, Mark Innes, Zhao Tome, Keith Schooling, James Pepper, Gareth Winslade, Kenneth Olive and Dom Parker. And that rounds out the results for the feature race.
As we see all the drivers start to do donuts.
Results there for the Club 1500, Philip Miles taking top, 51 points, Rich Meester second, Steve Pepper podium for him for the last race, and James Pepper in fourth place. So we'll see what that does to the final standings. So there we see USF 2000, Ture Molarin overall season 3 winner. Congratulations, champion again. Philip Miles, Club 1500 season 3 championship there for Philip. Fantastic results, and congratulations to both drivers.
So there we go. You see, actually, Gavin Kelly pipping Murphy to second spot overall.
Yeah, great result there for Gavin. Those extra points for the podium, doing wonders for his championship there, and just pipping, like I say, Alex Murphy, knocking him off the podium there for the championship overall standings. That was a surprise.
As we see, drivers in the back celebrating 3 glorious seasons of this USF.
Obviously going down the minor places there, movers in the bottom half be Chris Forrester and Steve Pepper there, Mark Zeff who wasn't able to attend, and Tom Minot moving down. So there's been 36 drivers that have appeared or registered certainly for this championship, and hopefully this will continue and we'll get a decent grid for next season. Obviously we're moving to a 3-week rota, so yeah.
So that's it, no more USF 2000. I don't know about you, Steve, but I'm feeling a little emotional having to say goodbye.
I'm sure it'll be back at some stage. We'll we see confirmation with the championship Club 1500. Philip Miles taking the win, the championship podium there. Rich Meesters and Steve Pepper in third, followed by James Pepper fourth. So yeah, a very good season there for Cole Camel, but not quite good enough to overthrow Philip Miles. With teams there with Anti-Wizards, as we already knew, 618 points, a completely dominating championship for the teams there, and Stupid Aguri taking second place from Wizards Black Sapphire there. So a slight change.
So that's it. Yeah, unfortunately we won't be back in the USF for a while. As Steve mentioned earlier, we are moving to a 3-series rotation. If you'd like to know more about what they are and get involved, there are the links to our socials. Come say hello to us on Discord if you fancy racing with us. And yeah, all I can say is thank you very much for watching. That's a wrap on USF 2000.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, Mark. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of these drivers and some newbies as well. It'd be interesting to see how the next seasons unfold, and I'm sure we'll be back in the commentary booth very, very shortly.
I'm sure we will. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Mark. Joining me has been Steve. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.